You've just got to love this sign on the M6 when it turns into the A74 and enters Scotland. My destination this time was to be the Cairngorms, and as you can see, it was going to be a snowy one. The road to the Linn of Dee near Braemar was a belter, and it just got more and more wintry the closer I got, which was perfect. Soon, the car was loaded and it was time for the off. This sign was a reminder of the remote territory we'd be entering. Proper wild country, that's for sure. And yeah, as we got walking, the scale of the landscape was amazing, with a huge wide valley and an equally wide river, which felt like it belonged more in sort of somewhere like Alaska. Scotland, though, has got no bears, thankfully. Eventually, our home for the night came into view, the Red House Bothy. And yeah, it was a relief as the snow started to come down thick and fast. And so here we go, we finally made it to the wee Bothy. It is a very, very good feeling being here. And what better than just after Christmas than to be in the Cairngorms in the middle of winter. Proper winter wonderland out there. Gotta say, I know a lot of my videos we used to be travelling solo, but on this trip, I'm not, as you can see. This is Jack, and I did mention him briefly actually in a fellow video. We actually met back in, was it the Glidders?
The Glidders in May?
Back in May. Yeah, it was a funny story. I was camping solo, so was Jack. Turned up this beautiful little lake to go for a nice little isolated swim. Stripped off, as you do, and then I sort of, saw this bloke getting out of his tent, had the best sleep our best sleep in ages apparently, and that's where we met. And yeah, we did the rest of the walk together. It was a cracking walk, and yeah, we met up once since then, didn't we? We met up at the Bothy and the Pennines.
The Bothy Pennines, yeah.
Yeah, but he just set up a channel as well because he's done a couple of good trips recently, haven't you?
I've done a couple of trips that are both online. Link in the description below.
Got to get the obligatory link in. Yeah.
So I'm also making some videos that you might want to have a look at to see some camping in the north of England.
But yeah, the plan is we're so lucky we've got the Bothy to ourselves tonight so far. It's crazy.
No one is coming in.
This is what Jack keeps saying. In fact, Jack, you probably saw earlier in that clip that he's a great investigator. So I didn't know about him because he saw the footsteps. There was one set of footsteps coming away from the Bothy. So straight away he sort of said, well, if they've gone there, they're not there anymore. They've left, and he was right. So fingers crossed we keep it to ourselves.
No one's standing up here at 7:15. Don't believe it.
Unless they're a bit mad. We'll see. But yeah, we've got 2 bags of wood, going to kick back, got plenty of scotch. It's going to be a good night fun on the fire. And we've got tomorrow night as well. We think we know where we're going, but we'll save that until later on in the video. So yeah, you can see that when the snow eventually eased off and the clouds broke, what we were treated to was just amazing. You know, there was no light pollution out there at all by the Bothy, and it should have been pitch black. But with that full moon reflecting off the snow, it was absolutely stunning. And actually, you could have walked all the way back to the car without even a head torch. But yeah, the cold drove us back inside by the fireside, and it wasn't actually long until we were joined by 3 other guys, you know, much to Jack's surprise. But as I was expecting, actually, they were slightly bonkers, but it ended up being a really, really good evening still. They were a great laugh, and yeah, plenty of whiskey was consumed, a good old chat, and yeah, with the Bothy fire, we even got the room up to 23 degrees, which felt like quite an achievement on such a cold night. And yet, Jack even took to try it on one of the other guys' backpacks, and it's also now on his wish list. We'll see when he gets it. But yeah, you can see with these shots that the Red House Bothy, it looks new because it is. It was actually only opened up in 2023. And the MBA volunteers have done a cracking job. It really is a comfortable space and well worth the visit. But yeah, the following morning after a good sleep, myself and Jack were up early because we had a long day ahead of us. So we headed off ahead of the other guys and headed back towards the car. And once there, stocked up with firewood for the second night and also replenished our food and drink, ready for the next cold, snowy night. And so here we go, on the move again, day 2. Got to apologise, I know we haven't seen much of each other since last night. And yeah, I probably mentioned earlier, you know, so an hour or 2 after myself and Jack arrived, we had a party of 3 from the West Country, and we had a great night with them. And to be honest, I didn't really fancy getting the camera out. I just wanted to enjoy the evening.
So yeah, kicked on with the whiskey until the early hours. Made an early start this morning. And then look at these conditions. If I just stop for a sec and spin it round, I'm sure you'd agree, it's a proper winter wonderland. Blessed with the conditions at the moment. We're not far from Bob Scott's. Jack's not with me at the site at the moment because I had to make an emergency toilet stop, and he sort of pushed on to get to the Bothy just so he can have he's going to have a bit of food. I'll probably join him when we're there as well. And then we're going to push on. The plan is to try and get to a place called Hutchinson Memorial Hut. We've got about 3.5 hours of daylight left, and it's, yeah, we don't know what the going's going to be like. The snow's already fairly deep on the ground. It's just going to get deeper as we get higher. So we'll keep pushing on. Who knows how the rest of the day will unfold. So here we go. I'll give you a quick show around at Bob Scott's Bothy. This one, if you don't already know, it's a pretty iconic bothy in these parts. Only a couple of days ago, actually, I heard stories about like 10 people here. In fact, I saw a photo on a Facebook page and there was hardly any floor. Literally, all the sleeping space was used. But look at this. Just in case you've forgotten where you are, there is the flag. And yeah, you kind of got, look at that. You've got a nice mezzanine level to sleep on. And yeah, you can sleep underneath as well. So I'll come in, spin it round. It's a nice small space, I'd imagine. As much as whoever's had a fire there, bit of a twat. There's a can that's been left in there and loads of rubbish. But if you cleared that out and got that going, yeah, it'd be toasty warm. I mean, the room we were in last night, we got that one up at one stage to 22 degrees, which was really nice. This one would warm up even better. And you've got all the wood lined. It's probably nicely insulated as well. So crack a little spot. Shame Jack's not here. He should be here already, but I think I told him to take a little bit of a fork off of the main path. He's obviously missed it. So I'll probably hang around for a bit, see if he turns up, and otherwise just see if I can find him somewhere. There goes Jack. Just missed him going for a tumble. Here he is, the champion carrying the wood. Missed your tumble, Jack. How was it?
It was good. Just all around in the snow, refreshes the legs, clears the mind.
Keep pushing on.
The scenery continued to blow us away, but the going just got tougher and tougher the higher we got. And yeah, I didn't film too much of it, to be honest, as the light was fading really quickly. The weather closed in with driving snow, and yeah, knee-deep powder was added just for good measure, which was absolutely knackering, I've got to be honest. So yeah, I think we were both just more focused on just putting one foot in front of the other and trying to stay upright as much as we could. And neither of us have never been more relieved to reach a bothy. And what a spot it was in. Yeah, we settled in and got the fire going, and like the previous night, we were soon joined by company, this time in the form of an adventurous couple who'd come up from Manchester. They'd taken the same route in, and so we spent much of that evening by the fire, swapping drinks and our tales of personal suffering on the way up through the snow. We all slept very well that night, I can tell you.
Well, good morning, folks. There we go, got Jack behind, modelling the bothy. Showing actually, he's a good person to actually show how small this bothy actually is. This one, it's one of the smallest I've ever stayed in, but it was a really cosy one. Hutchinson Memorial Hut, and yeah, it was a real struggle to get here. I mean, we were questioning our sanity, weren't we? Several times. We were both up and down in the snow, any snowdrift, more times than Rocky in, against Creed. But yeah, and we nearly threw the towel in a couple of times, but we just had to push on. Because the conditions, I mean, there's not a breath of wind this morning, but last night we had the snow in our faces, darkness came in really quickly, and it was no place you wanted to get stuck. But yeah, it's an absolutely cracking place. So I'm going to cut myself out here. But look at the views. We did share with a couple last night. They headed off about an hour ago and they actually went up one of these mountains. Rather them than us. We're going to try and make it as easy as we can, and that's still going to be hard. But yeah, I'll quickly show you inside the Bothy, and then we'll get moving downhill. There's a bit of a crust on the snow, so we're hoping that's going to make things a bit easier going, so we can get back to the car. And here we go. We are now inside the wee Bothy, and the wee Bothy it certainly is. It's just literally, it's a one-room affair. But we've discovered, I've read about this place, about how warm people can get it. I think the record is about 30 degrees. We didn't quite manage that. I think we got up to 19 last night in here. But still, when you've been outside and it's like negative, 4 or 5, and you get in here to that, it's just absolutely lovely. The stove is brilliant. We've only got a very, very small table to do some cooking on. And yeah, there's your bunk. I mean, I was on there last night. You could get two shorter people on there. But if you've got a couple of you who are quite tall, one of you's probably going to have to go on the floor. There is a resident mouse I've read about as well, but they behave themselves. There was no sign of them last night. So yeah, Hutchinson Hut. What a setting. What a Bothy. Definitely one of the best I've visited so far. Right then, let's get moving. Don't forget the postcard. Now look how graceful this man is getting back on his feet. God. So, I'll come off your hand in a minute. We're filming this. It was Jack. I'm going to say it was Jack's idea. He wanted to show how crazy the snow depths are, and he's probably regretting that now.
Right, we got it.
Here he goes. Here he goes. But you've got it. But for how long? These walking poles are proving to be very, very helpful. There you go, you got it. Down to the knee. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the video, but there was a Bothy entry in the Bothy book where someone had said there was no snow at the Bothy on Christmas Day. And today's the 30th, so in just a few days, all of this snow has fallen.
Go back on the track.
Yeah, I don't blame you, well done, Jack.
What's the bridge? Moment of truth.
We completed the final few miles with a newfound burst of energy, as the crusty snow was now so much easier to navigate. But yeah, that weather came in again and things got really dicey indeed once we hit the road. A long evening would lie ahead, but that one can wait for another time. Thanks for watching.